Hi, SHERO Conference. I am Jasmine Pate, and I am so honored to be with you here on today. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about kingdom stewardship. So, kingdom stewardship is the divine responsibility that we have to care for what God has placed within our reach so that we can bring Him much glory. So, that means our skills, our talents, our abilities, our makeups, our businesses, our ideas, people, places, or things that we have been given authority over, access to, connection to, influence over. We are to steward those things well. And in stewarding, it is our responsibility to cultivate those things, to multiply it, and to maximize its potential. We are to expand its potential for God's kingdom and for His glory. We are to exhaust all measures of who we were created to be by utilizing what is within our reach. We should also look at stewarding as a gift from God by Him entrusting us with this stewardship responsibility. And because God gifted us the call of stewardship, or like the invitation to stewardship, it is our gift back to God how faithful we are with those things. Next, we're going to talk about the parable of the talents, which can be found in Matthew 25, 14 through 30. Now, here we have a situation where a master is about to go away, and he entrusts his possessions to 3 of his servants. And he gave each of these servants according to his abilities. So to one, he gave 5 talents. To another, he gave 2 talents. And then to the last one, he gave 1 talent. So the servants who were given the 2 and the 5 talents, they took their stewardship responsibility seriously. They doubled what they were given. That means they treated the master's possessions as if it was their own. And the master was very pleased with their efforts and told them, "Well done, you were faithful over a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Share your master's joy." So they were rewarded for their faithfulness. On the other hand, the steward who was entrusted with 1 talent, he hid his talent in the ground. So basically, he was lazy, he was selfish, and he gave an excuse for not wanting to be bothered with the responsibility of caring for his master's resources. His master was displeased with his lack of effort. And because of this servant's apathy, the master gave his 1 talent to the one who had 10. So in this parable, we can learn that more will be given to those who are faithful, and to the ones who are unfaithful, what they have will be taken away. So now I would like to shift to a specific area of financial stewardship, in which I will give you 5 practical steps of how we all can be better financial stewards. So number 1, mindset. It takes a mindset shift. We should have the mind of Christ. So Romans 12:2 tells us to be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. We need to have the mind of Christ. And in order for us to have the mind of Christ, we have to know the thoughts of Christ. And we can familiarize ourselves with the thoughts and the things of God by meditating on His word day and night, knowing what He thinks of us, knowing that His word says that He wants us to be successful. He wants us to be prosperous. He wants us to have good health. He has good thoughts and good expectations towards us. We should also believe that we can be financially responsible. And then in this mindset shift, it may be some things that we have to unlearn. It may be some behaviors that we witnessed from our upbringing maybe things that we always heard said, like robbing Peter to pay Paul and different things like that. We may have to unlearn some habits and some behaviors and some practices that we have grown accustomed to. And then in this mindset shift, we may have to seek knowledge in areas of our unfamiliarity. You know, it may be some things that we lack understanding in. It may be some areas as far as financial stewardship that we do not understand that well. So it's our responsibility to seek out the knowledge that we need in order to be better financial stewards. So step number 2, I put tithing and giving together. So tithing, the word of God tells us to bring the tithe into the storehouse so that there will be meat in mine house. So tithing is important because it allows the church to function and to expand and to have a further reach. Tithing allows us to place God as priority in our lives. We oftentimes say, God, you are Lord over my life. But in order for him to be Lord over our lives, he has to be Lord over every aspect of our lives, not just some aspects. So when I tithe, I am exercising a principle that puts God as priority in my finances. And hey, all resources that we have come from him anyway. It also allows us to exercise a sense of self-control and discipline. And then also, along with tithing, I say giving. I say to give. So when we give, we extend the goodness of God into the earth. And we know the word of God says, the more you give, the more you will receive. So number 3. Number 3 is budgeting. Budgeting is so important because it allows us to have a financial plan with our money. It allows us to spend with a purpose and spend with a purpose and spend with a plan. In budgeting, it is important to give every dollar an assignment. When you know of how much income you're supposed to have coming in, each of those dollars to the cent has to have a specific assignment so that you can know where your money is going instead of wondering where your money is going. There is a free app called Every Dollar Budget. I do my budgets on Excel, or you can utilize paper as well. And a good strategy in budgeting is to make sure we, tithe the 10%, save another 10%, 30% is cash for other items you may want to buy, and then 50% you hold for your bills. So that's ideally a typical way that you can go about exercising your budget. Number 4 is eliminating debt. The word of God in Proverbs 22:7 teaches us that the borrower is slave to the lender. Now, when I hear the word slave, I don't like it. And I think about bondage. I think about chains. And nobody wants to be in bondage because bondage robs you of your freedom. So if it says the borrower is slave to the lender, that means our financial freedom, our financial future is in bondage. And it's important for us to avoid excessive debt, not to spend just recklessly. We should live within our means and spend less money. Spend less money, save more money. Lastly, use what's in your hands to generate additional income. So some people may have a hobby of cooking or doing hair or tutoring or different things like that. You can utilize your skill set to generate additional income. Another strategy that me and my husband use, we call different car insurance companies, especially during this COVID time with so much uncertainty, we called different car insurance companies so that we can compare rates and pricing. And we found one that helped us to save $100 a month. We were with Progressive and now we are with Geico. Another thing that you can do is bundle services. You know, you may want to bundle your cable with your home insurance and your cell phone plan, and that can also help you save additional money. Another thing that I did was looked around my house to see how many items that I have sitting around that is no longer serving me. You know, it's so many things that we are attached to and we just keep. And you know, it probably served us in one season, but it's no longer serving us. One example is an old calculator that I used in college. Now, I graduated college 10 years ago, and I had this calculator sitting with me all of those years. So I realized I don't need this, so I sold it. I listed it on Facebook Marketplace, and I sold it for $40. So I used what was within my reach, a calculator that's not serving any purposes to me, but now it's serving a purpose for somebody else. And that $40 that I received is now served a purpose for me. Then another thing is there are lower interest rates now with home mortgages and different things like that. So if it makes sense, like maybe if you can reduce your interest rate at least by a point and you have a longer time frame to pay on your home, you can consider refinancing so that you can save additional money over a longer period of time. And then also, it is important to sign up for the city email, NOLA.gov, because whenever different programs or new grant opportunities and different things such as that becomes available, email subscribers are immediately emailed all of those opportunities and all of the new information. For example, through the news and as well as through the NOLA.gov email list, I was made aware of a grant that became available that my husband qualified for. I applied for the grant and he received it. So as a recap, we went over kingdom stewardship. We specifically went over some ways in financial stewardship of how we can be better financial stewards over the resources that God has given us. I hope this blessed you, and you all have a great day.